Guys, a live stream, so I'll give a little bit of time for people to come in an historic day like this. I had to go live. I wasn't supposed to. I've been working 11 hours today, but I will make the effort to do so. So I'm going to give a little bit of time for people to come in. Once you start to come in, please let me know if sound is good. That would be very helpful. Oh my God. What a time to be alive, huh? Never a dull moment anywhere. It's actually quite funny to see the reaction of people, right? I get the feeling, just a feeling. So it's not. Is it a prediction? No, it's a feeling. I'm gonna get a feeling that a lot of people that have been trashing Trump for so long will come back and basically, oh no, say, oh no, I always supported it, always support. I don't know what you're talking about. Always believed. Yeah, right. We'll see. I see two people in the live. Oh, sorry guys, I worked. As I was saying, I worked 11 hours today, so I'm a little bit tired, but I had to do a live. Can you guys let me know if you can hear me well? One of the two people in the live. That would be highly helpful if you could tell me. Drop a 1 if you can hear me, drop a 2 if you can't. Good, Crypto Mike. See you're here. Thank you for joining. Yeah, I can hear you. Very good. I wanted to start this live stream with a little thing about my channel. Number one, my wife is actually liking a lot to make these thumbnails, so she will be starting to do them from now on. I will once this video gets uploaded, I will change that. So she made a new one for me, which I'm very happy, and I had a very good reactions on it. So I'm glad it happened. There was someone that said in the comment section something to the nature of you YouTubers are always bullish, and I'm stopping to listen to YouTubers. And another person said, I'm starting to hate these videos. It's very simple. You don't have to listen to me. See, I do YouTube as a hobby. It's something that I really enjoy doing it. I don't do it for money. Actually, I have my monetization on because my videos get a little bit better widespread. But I don't know if you guys know this, but in order for you to get paid by YouTube, you actually have to insert your tax details, your bank account, all of these things, which I haven't done. So I've never collected, although I'm entitled to ad revenue, I purposely don't collect it. Because I never want to be accused of doing YouTube for money, or that I'm somehow trying to leverage on my audience. That's why I don't sell you private memberships. I don't sell you Discords. I don't sell you courses. I don't sell you indicators. I don't sell you anything. That's the reason why I do it. So if you are starting to hate the videos, or if you think I'm always bullish and I'm a clown, you don't have to listen. You can just go away. It's fine. It's not a big deal. So that's it. I get it. Red candles, painful waiting, uncertainty creates those reactions. I get it. So I'm actually not even angry at you or anything like that. I get it. I'm just saying you have options. You are not forced to come here and listen to me. But very good. I wish you the best of luck, Estonian. Reaper, almost bull run time. In my view, we've always been in the bull market. My weekly indicator on Bitcoin remains green, even with this pullback. 30% drawdowns or more in Bitcoin during bull runs is perfectly normal. And I had a feeling for what Trump was doing. Actually, I had a live stream on Saturday, and I had a video on Monday. Arturo, welcome all of you. I've mentioned, if you listen to the video, that I was expecting a bottom to happen between Monday and Wednesday, which essentially seems that we've got. Now, I truly believe that Trump wants to do trade deals. The way you do it, but you need to start with a bombastic statement. Then the market starts to think, he's just bluffing. If the market goes down enough, he's going to reverse course. Or those tariffs that it says going to happen on April 9th, they're actually not going to happen until they do. And now, or days go by, the stock market is collapsing. For sure, he is about to turn away and to turn around. For sure, he's about to drop the tariffs, and the days go by, and he doesn't. And then global stock markets start to go down. Now, this thing is spreading because the market is started to price it in that actually tariffs are here to stay. And then he gets phone calls from 75 countries asking for urgent meetings. And if you're doing a negotiation, if someone is looking to give you something, you need to give them the chance to do it. Otherwise, you are an unreasonable negotiator, meaning if someone is coming to you, doesn't retaliate, and asks for meetings, and shows some interest in getting to a satisfactory solution, you have to hear them out. Now, unfortunately, here is where we split the people. This side, you have the Trump haters. He caved. He gave up. The market was going down so much, the bond market was collapsing. So he caved, he gave up. On this side, you have the MAGA Republicans. He's a genius, he's God on earth, he's playing 5D chess. He's amazing. My position is, it depends, like it has always been. If he doesn't get anything good for the US, and a lot of the American trust has been lost, and a lot of bad blood with America now exists, he lost. If he gets amazing trade deals that improve the American situation, then not only is it a tremendous success, he will probably rank amongst the top 3 US presidents of all time. So when I see economists, analysts, pundits on television, CNBCers, Financial Timers, New York Timers, Washington Posters, etc., people on Twitter or on X, people on YouTube, saying he's a retardio or retarded or an idiot, or he's going to cause massive inflation for the US, or he's going to cause a massive recession, or he's going to cause this and the other, my position is, it depends. How long will the tariffs last? How easy it is to live without certain goods? How easy it is to change from China to Colombia? What happens if the commodity prices are dumping dramatically? You see my point? There's a lot of moving parts. So how can you come out and with such certainty and say this is going to cause this and that if it hasn't yet played out? Now, if he does sign very good deals, as I expect he's going to do, then all these economists, analysts, experts on TV will look like idiots, and sorry for the language, they can go suck a fat one. That's what it means. I saw someone write this in a Telegram group, so I decided to steal that. That's what it means. Is it a success or is it a failure? Wait and see. I get the feeling that within the next few weeks, a deal is going to be announced between two countries. Maybe US and Japan, maybe US and South Korea, maybe US and Vietnam, maybe US and Taiwan. I have no idea. But maybe US and Israel. But one of these days, or one of these weeks, a deal's gonna get signed. And now, game theory really kicks in. If you are a country and you want to export to the US, you need, if you really need that market a lot, the sooner you do the deal, the more leverage you have. If you go sit down with those people, Trump and his cabinet, and he already did deals that account for 75% of import-export flows of the US, you are in a very precarious situation. My expectation, I'm going to shock everyone now, is China will be in Washington within 3 weeks. China has a massive overcapacity problem in that country. China exports 450 billion plus to the US and imports 140 billion. What happens to overcapacity when you lose your number one client? And if they are indeed selling treasuries, which seems very likely, and they already devalued the yuan again to boost exports, you need to be careful because you can end up with your currency being like confetti. Because nobody, including Chinese people, trusts your currency. So be very careful with the leverage you're losing. Its prediction of 10K. The cycle is not over yet, huh? Relax. We still have time. And of course, I may fail predictions. If I fail predictions that I'm a millionaire, I will take that loss any day of the week. But as I was saying, I think China is in a bit of a precarious situation. And as I mentioned before, I think he picked this timing on purpose. Not only because we are far away from the midterms, but also because Europe is the major economies in Europe are struggling, and they were struggling before he was elected, which means they have limited negotiating power, so they need their number one client. China is, as I mentioned, in deflation for like two years, the property market imploding worse than the financial crisis, by the way, and with excess capacity everywhere, and these empty buildings, massive buildings everywhere, and this only gets worse when they lose their number one client, obviously. Now, here's the funny part of these so-called experts on television. Oh, Europe is turning to China. Really? So Europe needs places to export to, and they're going to go to a country that has just devalued their currency to basically export to Europe. So basically, who imports what exactly? Because both of them needs to export. And here's a little secret: the way the Chinese government has screwed the US, has screwed Europe as well. So yeah, I don't think so. I really don't think so. And now we need to wait and see. I truly believe this. If he gets very good trade deals, then he will position himself as a top president of the United States of all time. Don't forget, he is basically, them seems willing to slow down. Yeah, but China has an issue here, which is nobody trusts them. So, and what they want to do is export. But the issue is that what Europe needs is a client, What China needs is a client. So this doesn't work if both goes to the same way. Same thing with Japan or Taiwan or Singapore. They need clients, and there's no wealthy consumer base in China. Meaningful, right? Of course, you have a few billionaires. That's not the point. But you don't have. I mean, just very simple. Compare the GDP per capita of China and the US, and you'll see exactly what I mean. You need those things. So I do think China will need to come to the table. I don't know how they're going to do it. I think they're struggling a little bit because they don't want to look weak, which I understand. I think this will probably need to be sorted out with a phone call between Trump and Xi. That's my. I mean, if you ask me today, guess, that would be my guess. So, but once again, I want to be very clear on this. Is Trump done something good or something bad? Trump haters will say he caved, he gave up. Trump supporters will say, no, it's all 3D chess, art of the deal. The reality is we need to wait and see for what kind of deals are signed. Yes, if the deals have something like loosen regulation on American products for that market, direct investment in the US, no tariffs and no trade barriers, then that dramatically improves Americans' position. Then it is a success. If no deal is signed, nothing changes, then it's a failure. But to have the audacity or the arrogance of saying with certainty what if it's one or the other today is not possible. And it's reckless. Now, I can have my opinion, which is I think he's going to manage to get very good deals for the US. My opinion. Not. So that's why I don't come here and say, oh, the GDP is going to triple in 3 years. It's going to be amazing. No, I don't make this kind of certain predictions like these freaking economists and analysts make, because that's completely wrong to do so. I mean, even if I get it right, it's pure luck, right? But I cannot come here with certainty. So when I make, for example, predictions on the crypto market, etc., like when I said, I think the bottom was going to be somewhere between Monday and Wednesday of this week, right? I have a high degree of confidence that that's going to happen. But I cannot say for sure. I mean, it's easy to get it wrong. I mean, I gave it a time span of 3 days. So that's why I don't come here and say, you see, I'm such a genius, buy my course and you'll be able to tell the bottom as well, this kind of stuff. I don't do this because I think it's, at the end of the day, it's very counterproductive. So we are living in historic times. We're living in very interesting times, and we need to see if this bold strategy will work or not. There are meetings between the US and Iran this weekend. That's also extremely important. We need to pay attention to that. What I would like to see now is the bond market stabilizing and going up again, and yields coming down. I would like to see the dollar keep on decreasing or at least stable. And I would like to see, the stock market developing some structure and to see exactly what kind of deals can be achieved. And I think the next step now is to go through with the tax cuts on the middle class and probably on corporations as well. And also to deregulate and to potentially lower, indeed, by lowering taxes on corporates, that also incentivizes the foreign investment in the United States. I mean, he was courageous. He was being pressured even by people in his own party. We'll see. We'll see how this comes out, but I think it's a very historical moment. Now, the stock market completely exploded. We're talking plus 12% in the QQQs, plus 10% in the S&P. Bitcoin's above 82K. When I start recording, Ethereum pumped. My God, can you imagine that? Ethereum also pumped. It's basically now we're starting to price in potential alleviation of the situation. And I mean, maybe Maybe Trump will get wonderful deals for the US. I think he's picking the right spot, which is Europe is struggling, Japan is struggling, China has been struggling for a couple of years. So I guess this is the time where he has the maximum leverage, and it's really interesting. I still believe after the Canadian election that I don't think a trade deal is going to be made between now and then. But I think after the Canadian election, I think there's going to be a massive deal between US and Canada. It's my feeling. And that spells trouble for the rest of the world, because it's like having... Imagine you're playing in the NBA and you're facing a team with Michael Jordan and LeBron James. What you need to ask yourself, if you're not US or Canada, is, do I want Michael Jordan and LeBron to be super focused, strategically aligned, or do I want them pissed off at each other and fighting? I'll let you answer that one. So whenever people are talking about Canada and the US, I say, be quiet. If you're not from the US or Canada, you should want them not to get along, because if you mix the financial powerhouse and technological developments of the US and the innovation capabilities together with the infinite with the infinite resources of Canada, that's a very scary powerhouse for any country not called US and Canada. And by the way, if you add Mexico there with cheap labor, be careful. Be careful what you wish for when you want union on all these matters. On the PDI stuff, yeah. So apparently there's an exploit. I mean, I don't know, on the PDI contract. It has nothing to do with Richard Hart. It's all about PDI. I'm not technical enough to really know if that's the case. I really don't know. I treat PDI the same way that I always treated PDI. For me, it's a small lottery ticket. If it goes to the moon, great. If it goes to zero, so be it. So my position is very consistent. I'm probably the only consistent person on that topic, because I've seen all sorts of change of opinions all the time. So it wouldn't surprise me. So tomorrow is also CPI. I still think we're probably going to see a 2.4, 2.5% number. We'll see if I'm right. That's my feeling. I do believe that economic figures and CPIs, etc., will start looking better than expected. And then the question becomes, why wouldn't Powell lower rates? Because he had no problem lowering rates when the data was much worse before the election, to see if his pals get reelected, which they didn't. So if he doesn't, then you start to question, okay, how political is this guy? I leave that for you guys to assess and to answer. So, yeah, I mean, this can be an historical day, an historical time period. That's why I'm making a live stream. We need to see the next chapters. Be ready, because it doesn't matter what Trump does. There's going to be people who never like it, and it's always terrible. And there's going to be people who think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. So it is what it is. I think I've already heard this. I've heard the pundit, I think, on CNN. I think he said something like this. Or she said something like this. Oh, even if he gets a trade deal agreement, it's not really a win because he caved on the tariffs. Now think about this. You think that I go to my boss and I say, I want $1 million of salary starting now. And this says, look, man, I cannot give you $1 million, but I can double your salary. I say, okay, fine. Let's take the double. Okay, then double my salary. And then I have this lady from CNN shouting at me, ha, you caved, you idiot, you caved. I just got my salary doubled. I mean, what? So you mean to tell me, so basically what she's doing is very simple. Third cycle could be similar and around the third cycle. Do you think it's developed now? I think it to explode. Do I think it will explode? It had something that was really disappointing to me, which was all the layer 2 stuff. So if there's something that needs a tariff, is the layer 2s, because they are able to inflate Ethereum dramatically without paying really for the privilege of doing so. And that's actually bad, because layer 2s is not just about the inflation of Ethereum, it's also they're less secure, and they have more counterparty risk, more of the bad stuff. Everything that is layer 2, imagine as more of the bad stuff. So if Vitalik was, less, if he drank less soy milk, he should probably just increase the fees that the layer 2s pay. Very simple. Now you turn Ethereum deflationary again. Easy. Now, I think Ethereum will still do well for one simple reason. The idea of Wall Street is very clear. Tokenize securities and bonds. That's it. Tokenize real-world assets. And Ethereum has by far the most amount of stablecoins, which is crucial for this. It has the richest wallets and the most total value locked by far. It doesn't go down like Solana every month with some technical issue. And there's been around the block and is very, very safe. Now, there's been the argument that, but why don't banks just develop their own blockchains? Yeah, that's easier said than done. Because if you do that and you mess up and you lose customer funds, you get hacked, you get inflation bugs, you get whatever, then you are on the hook for it. Because if JP Morgan does it and they are doing business for clients, you cannot just, you cannot just launch something and then, it didn't go well, and then it just goes through the garbage, right? So I think there's a reason why Larry Fink has $4 billion of Ethereum and it's been accumulating. I think there's a reason why all the major investment firms, etc., disclose technological developments in tariff layers too. Yeah, sure. I mean, that's what it should do. I hope he gets inspired by the tariffs. That would be very helpful, because it's also like he doesn't care about money, but the way he is making the setup is allowing people to go to inferior, worse off technology. So if it's really major, I think it will do very, very well, and it will have the most hated rally of all time. I think it should be better marketed as well, in my opinion, because Solana is good for the casinos, for the small wallets, for cheap fees, for faster transactions, but it goes down all the time. Okay, that's a bit exaggeration, but it goes down on a consistent basis. And I said, JP Morgan just have this JP Morgan chain. So do you think that's easy? Do you think that's that's it? What if you mess up billions of dollars? Who's gonna reimburse the customers? Why don't just use Ethereum, who's been battle tested 10 years? So I mean, I'm not so convinced about each bank will have its own blockchain. I say, okay, fine. I'm not so convinced. I've seen ITs of certain banks, and you'd be surprised. People maybe think this is the most amazing thing of all time. Be careful. That's what I'm saying. Particularly when you're handling other people's money and you're a big institution that can be sued. Careful with that. Just a suggestion, up to them. They will know better what to do. But, that's something that can happen. Now, what I said about my plans for this time period where we have this thing, I need to say this because this is very important for people to understand. I am seeing so much pain and misery on X from people that were leveraged long and they got liquidated on the way down, and now people that were short and were liquidated on the way up, and people that managed to get liquidated both sides in the same day. I try to say, but look, I cannot give you financial advice. I can just tell you my opinion. These type of markets are markets where most of the time the best outcome is sitting on your hands. I tried. I tried, and I'm like, look, I cannot tell you because if you want to go and trade and you want to trade on leverage, it's up to you. You're a grown man or woman. You do what you want to do. What I can say is my experience with markets volatile as they are like this is both longs and shorts get completely liquidated. This is a market for the market makers. They make a ton of money on fees. They have the time of their lives. But not the users, not traders, not anything. Even funds go belly up in days like this or weeks like this. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. You have entire funds who do nothing but have multiple people trying to trade markets day in, day out. They've done a wonderful job for many, many, many years. And then in a couple of weeks like this, they get liquidated, closed down, everybody's fired, go home and take your shine box. So be aware of this. I know it's tempting. I know if I entered here with 10x leverage, now I would be blah, blah, blah. I get the appeal. 99 out of 100 is going to lose. So I think probably, mathematically speaking, there may be better odds to just get your money and put it on black in the roulette in the casino. So I don't like those odds. So I like to leave everything spot. Sitting on my hands, if I have deals that I think it's good, accumulate to those positions. That's what I do. And by the way, I've been I've been suggested that I was a perma bull. I'm not a perma bull. I'm a bull in the bull market. So, stocks, the fear and greed index for stocks, which is 0 out to 100, was 3. 3. Let me repeat that. 3 out of 100. The VIX was above 60 at some point, which only has been there 5 times in history, I think. We had worse readings than the zombie virus 2020, than even the financial crisis, and I think even than the tech bubble. So the question is it going to go up from there or down? Which one is more likely? I don't know. Is it more likely that, so what's the space in the fear and greed index? So fear and greed was at 3 out of 100. So that means you have 97 numbers to this side, and you have 2, 1, and 0 to this side. Is it more likely to go from 3 to 2 to 1 to 0, or to go to the 100? And finally, before I leave, I wanted to say this. A lot of positive fundamentals for crypto has happened. Even the Chinese yuan devaluation is a sharp reminder to people living in China and holding the Chinese currency that your wealth can evaporate overnight by the decision of a few people. Crypto is, in my view, the solution also to that problem. Maybe it won't be. It's my opinion, and I'm entitled to have one. I think a lot of fundamental improvements on the regulatory front, on the interest from the US government, but which triggers the other countries' interest as well. I think the chessboard is very well positioned for a very good final year of the bull market. We may extend, it's true, to Q1 2026. I said that I expected Bitcoin to peak in October with a final altcoin season in Q4, maybe going into January 2026. I have to admit, I wasn't counting on these episodes of the tariff wars lasting so long and during this time frame. I actually thought he was going to do it, if you ask me. I always believed the tariffs, but I thought he was going to do it after the midterms. But then I think he probably was afraid to not have enough time, or that a lot of countries could think, maybe I can just wait out that he leaves as president. So I get it. It was a bad assessment on my part, so that's my problem. But I do think there's some chance that the cycle can prolong into Q1 2026, maybe even April, May 2026, who knows? So basically 12 months from now. We'll see. We'll see. There's a lot of moving parts. If we really catch up quite a lot on the crypto side, we may have just a 2025 cycle. Very hard to say at this particular moment. We need to wait and see. But very interesting on the things that's happening. Once again, paying attention to those yields. We want to see them come down now in an orderly fashion, and very curious to start seeing some of the trade deals. And with that, guys, I think I'm going to leave you. Thank you very much for joining. Don't forget, like and subscribe if you haven't done so. It's free, takes you no time. And I hope you guys like me doing this surprise live. And thank you very much for attending. And if I didn't answer any question, drop some questions in the comment section, and I'll try to do my best to address them. Thank you very much, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.